Good evening to all of you. So this is in continuation with my previous lecture on Synthan approach and retrosynthesis applications. In this lecture, we will discuss in detail regarding certain guidelines that we have for dissection of molecules, especially the aromatic compounds. So here I made 3 lectures, one for aromatic compounds, and in case of aliphatic compounds, guidelines are slightly different. So regarding that, I made a separate class. Okay, so let's go ahead with aromatic compounds in this session. So generally, whenever we were doing disconnection study of any organic compound, okay, so there are some certain general guidelines are there which we have to always consider. Okay, so usually in retrosynthesis, what we will do, we have a product AB. This is what we need to synthesize, and then this we will disconnect so that we will get some kind of synthons, and from where we will get the reagents. Okay, we will get the appropriate reagents. So it is like that. So in this strategy, the first one is, whenever we are doing disconnections, they must correspond to known and reliable reactions. Known and reliable reactions. Let's say you are starting from COCH3, acetophenone. So while you are attempting a disconnection, like over here, you can have two types of possibilities. So one is, so in one case, you can have positive charge over here and negative charge over here, because when you are disconnecting, we go for, okay, either carbanions or carbocations, but usually we don't disconnect by using free radical mechanisms. So that's the reason why we keep positive charge and negative charge on either side. Okay, so here if it is positively charged, this will become negatively charged. Then if we keep negative charge here, this should be positive charge. So when you are disconnecting, known and reliable reactions must be there to again reconnect them. So if you choose the first case and second case, which is better, which is known and which is reliable, can anyone of you tell me? Either one is good or two is good. So this one. Why?
Delocalization అంటే చార్జ్ ఉండడం వల్ల delocalize అవుతుంది కదా సార్, అంటే lone pair of electrons కింద ట్రీట్ చేస్తారు.
In case of carbonyl carbon is already positively charged. Okay, then if you see a reagent for this synthan, CH3 C double bond O Cl is readily available, and having minus charge on carbon is almost close to impossible in case of carbonyl carbons. And in the same way, generating a positive charge on benzene, okay, is again another difficult task, because this actually implies to nucleophilic substitution type of reaction, which is really hard on benzene. Okay, so that is the meaning of disconnections must correspond to known and reliable reactions. Okay, the second rule is, for compounds consisting of two parts joined by a heteroatom, disconnect next to the heteroatom. So it is a very simple logic. ROR dash. Then, because connection between heteroatom and carbon can easily be made, ether linkage, amine, chlorine can be added. So it is like this. So whenever we have a heteroatom, next to that, immediately next to that, you can break so that that bond can be easily made. Here it is equally possible. Let's say CH3O C2H5. Then you can disconnect either here or here, so that you can use either methanol and ethyl chloride or methyl chloride and ethanol. Okay, so both will work. Both will work and will provide you an ether like this. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. Whenever we have a heteroatom, you can disconnect next to the heteroatom to obtain appropriate starting materials. Third one is consider alternative disconnections and choose routes that avoid chemoselectivity problems. Okay, chemoselectivity problems. Chemoselectivity problem means, let's say on a compound, let's say if you have a benzene ring, we have A, B, C, three functional groups are there. Then while A is more reactive than B is more reactive than C. Okay, then if this is the case, then which one, because according to the statement, which one we must keep on the benzene ring first, means which one we have to disconnect first, A or B or C? A must be disconnected first, second one is B, third one is C, because this is the way how we choose the sequence of retrosynthesis, so that while doing synthesis, this is the way how we will go. First we attach C, then we attach B, then we attach A, because A is highly reactive, so that is the one which we are adding at the end, like aldehyde group, ketone group, amine group. Okay, so like this, these groups we tend to attach at the end, not in the beginning. In the beginning, we add alkyl groups, aryl groups, ethers, etc. Okay, so and halogens. Okay, so those we will add in the beginning in the same way. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to choose a disconnection pathway which will not force us to chemoselectivity problems. And the fourth one is use two group disconnections wherever possible. Two group disconnections wherever possible. So there is a possibility that in organic compounds, if a compound has multiple functional groups, so always look for simultaneous attachment of at least two functional groups. Okay, like ring closure reactions, etc. Okay, Mannich reactions where multiple group bonds can be made by using a single part reaction. Okay, so like Mannich reaction. Okay, so where we can attach three components together, an aldehyde, an acidic methylene group, and amine. Is it clear to all of you? These are the four rules that by default will be there for both aromatic as well as aliphatic compounds. Okay, so while learning disconnection strategies for benzene or aromatic compounds, especially benzene compounds, so let's learn the technique by using case studies. Okay, so here, before we go into the actual strategies, first we need to have basic idea on the reactivity of benzene ring. So here the first one is electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions are more favored on benzene ring, are more favored, like FC reaction. Okay, like FC reaction, etc. So many reactions are there, rearrangements are there, like Fries rearrangement is there, Kolbe reaction is there. In all these, if you see the mechanism, it is in one or the other way electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. Second one is nucleophilic aromatic substitution reaction. Can anyone of you give me an example of something closely related to nucleophilic aromatic substitution reaction? Can you give me any example? Or at least any reaction where a nucleophile can be replaced by another nucleophile? Or can you give me any reactions of benzene containing diazonium chloride?
Diagitation, sir.
No, diazonium chloride mediated reaction. After diazonium chloride is obtained, we do something else.
Methyl orange synthesis, sir.
No, that is not a substitution reaction. Sandmeyer reaction, where Ar N2X, when you treat with the CuX or cuprous, then ArX. Okay, ArNH2 is first diazotized, and then that will become, let's say here if you keep cyanide, then cyanide. Are you able to understand this? This is in one way, we can call it as a nucleophilic substitution reaction, but Sandmeyer reaction has a different mechanism. But what I am trying to tell you is a nucleophile can be replaced by another nucleophile. Okay, this is the second point which we need to understand. Third one is directional capability. Okay, so in case of benzene ring, whether you are doing electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction of any kind of reaction, there is no selectivity on the carbons. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. 6 carbons are there. All are equally susceptible to the electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions. But when we have a substitution, it all depends upon the nature of the substituent. So depending upon the nature of substituent, the oncoming electrophile will occupy appropriate carbon. Let's say if X is a nucleophile or electron withdrawing group is there, strongly electron withdrawing group, then this type of functional groups will become orthopara-directory or meta-directory.
Meta-directory.
Are you sure? Why they become electron withdrawing groups will become meta-directory? Because it is withdrawing electrons. So you will have delta positive here, delta positive here. So on ortho and para positions, you will have development of partial positive charge because of withdrawal of electrons. So the only possibility is on meta position, like cyanide, nitro, etc. So not nucleophilic. If X is electron donating group, this is electrophilic. This is an electron donating group. It is electron rich and it is looking for a nucleus. Okay, so this is nucleophile. Okay, so here the examples are OH group, CH3, etc. So in this case, they will direct the group onto ortho or para. Ortho para directory. This is meta directory. Okay. So these are the 3 things that we need to keep in our mind whenever we are dealing with doing retrosynthetic strategy, retrosynthetic exercises on benzene containing compounds. Okay. One is benzene undergoes electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. It prefers. Second one is nucleophilic aromatic substitution reactions are also possible. It all depends upon the type of functional group that we have. One of the best example is Sandmeyer reaction, which is it is liberally used, okay, extensively used in retrosynthetic strategies. The third one is we also have to see the directional capability of the substituents on benzene ring. Okay, so why we need to understand these 3 things that we will see in the coming slides. Are you able to understand this one? These are all only basics. Now let's do a small analysis. Through this we will learn how to do the retrosynthetic analysis for benzene containing compounds. What is benzocaine?
Local anesthetic, sir.
Very good. So on one side we will have NH2. On the other side, what will be there?
Benzoic acid.
It is ethyl ester of para-amino benzoic acid. Okay, PABA esters. Okay, so this is the compound which we need to synthesize. Because in B pharmacy, you might have already done this reaction and we knew this. So we usually take para-amino benzoic acid or PABA plus ethanol in the presence of acid. Okay, you can reflect so that you can easily esterify. So PABA is, for us in the laboratory, it is available. Okay, but PABA is a natural product. Is it available in large quantity in nature? No, it is not available. Let's say if you wanted to synthesize PABA, then what to do? That is where we have to decide. So here we have COOH. Can we introduce COOH onto benzene ring? Yes, we have Kolbe reaction. Can we introduce ammonia onto benzene ring? Yes, we have. Do we have any reaction where NH2 can be introduced onto benzene ring? Hello?
No, sir.
No, we don't have any because it has to undergo nucleophilic substitution. It is not possible. So instead of amino, what can we do?
Nitration.
Yeah, very good. Functional group interconversion. We keep COOH there and then NO2. So para-nitrobenzoic acid. Still, para-nitrobenzoic acid is not naturally available. Now what to do? Nitro group can be introduced onto the benzene ring easily. So COOH group can be introduced by using Kolbe type of reaction, but that is not really feasible. Okay, as far as no feasibility is concerned, it is not that easy. Instead, COOH group can also be obtained by oxidizing methyl group. Oxidizing methyl group. So what is this compound? Para-nitrotoluene. So how can you get para-nitrotoluene? By simply taking toluene and then nitration. Okay, so at 0 degrees centigrade, it is possible. It is possible to introduce nitro group either onto ortho or para. Okay, so this is the way how. Because while doing retrosynthetic analysis, what are the things that we were actually doing? One is this, the other one is take nitrobenzene AlCl3. Okay, so is it possible? Can anyone of you tell me? So here we have in one strategy nitration, in another strategy FC alkylation reaction. FC alkylation, which is possible. Can anyone of you tell me? Here we have two strategies for disconnecting para-nitrotoluene. One is disconnect the methyl group, the other one is disconnect the nitro group. So which is possible, which is feasible actually?
Methyl group disconnection, sir.
Methyl group disconnection is feasible.
Yes, sir.
Why it is like that? Why the second one is not possible? Okay, any other explanations? Any one of you, can you add anything to this? So what is the nature of methyl group?
Electron donating.
Directory or meta-directory?
Or the
Para-directing. Or the para-directing.
What is the nature of nitro group?
Meta-directing.
Meta-directing. Let's say if you do this reaction, will you get para-nitrotoluene?
No. No, sir.
This actually will give you meta-nitrotoluene. Okay, meta-nitrotoluene. Okay, so that's the reason why this strategy is not good. That's what I am telling you, because in the beginning I told you that directional capability. Okay. So when you are disconnecting, see that the substituent that is present on benzene ring actually supports your disconnection strategy. Okay. So that is the way. And then we are also not bothered more about the functional group, because whenever there is possibility of functional group interconversion, we are making use of that, so that appropriate functional group is actually replacing the required functional group. Okay. So what is the synthesis that we can do? We can take toluene, we can do nitration, and after that we can oxidize the methyl group to carboxylic acid, and we can reduce nitro group to amine. Now we got the para-aminobenzoic acid. Then we can go for esterification. Okay. So this is the thinking process that we have to develop. While deciding disconnection, we have to think like this. So what is the synthesis? This is the actual synthesis. So first what they are doing is oxidizing KMnO4, and then they are doing reduction of amino. Why it is like that? Why they are not reducing nitro group first and then oxidizing carboxylic acid in the second? So when you are doing chemical reactions, we have to introduce less reactive functional group in the beginning, then more reactive functional group. Okay. So when you are oxidizing, you are oxidizing carboxylic acid group, which is highly resistant to chemical reactions. What is the next thing that we have to do? Reduction by using palladium hydrogen, palladium catalyzed hydrogenation reaction, where carboxylic acid cannot be reduced, because for reducing carboxylic acid we need very strong reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydrate, otherwise it cannot be reduced. So hydrogenation is just nothing for that, so there is no problem. Whereas let's say if you had started with amino, first if you reduce nitro group to amino, then when you subject that one to KMnO4, that amino group gets oxidized and there is a possibility of formation of N-oxides. Okay. So that's the reason why first we are introducing carboxylic acid, a relatively resistant functional group, then we are introducing amino group, and followed by that we are doing esterification. Okay. So why are we not doing esterification in the beginning? Once immediately after introduction of carboxylic acid, then we should have directly gone for this one, esterification. Carboxylic acid is resistant to reduction, whereas esters are susceptible to reduction by using mild reducing agents like even hydrogenation. Okay. So there is a possibility. I don't say compulsory, there is a possibility. So that's the reason why we are keeping esterification as the last step. Okay. So let's see. I hope you understood the logic here. Let's see the next example. So this is BHT, butyl hydroxy toluene. What is the use of butyl hydroxy?
Preservative, sir. Preservative.
It's a preservative. Okay. So how to synthesize this? How to synthesize this? We have a methyl group. We have tertiary butyl groups. Two tertiary butyl groups are there. Which one shall we disconnect first? Which one shall we disconnect first? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 functional groups are there on benzene ring. So which one shall we disconnect? Which groups? 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
First group, sir.
So this one. Okay. Next. Second or third or fourth? Which one shall we disconnect next?
Third one, sir.
Excellent. Okay. And then
OH
do we
group.
have to disconnect further? Do we have to disconnect further? Let's say if you had disconnected these two functional groups, what you are going to get? hydroxy, and then we have here 3 plus okay. So what kind of reagent? This is an alkyl group, this is aromatic ring. So you simply have to take a halide and then FC alkylation is fine. So what is this compound? Can anyone of you tell me?
Parahydroxytoluene.
Parahydroxytoluene, we call them as cresols. Okay, this is paracresol. Okay, paracresol is available naturally in large quantities. Available naturally in large quantities. Even if it is not available, parachlorotoluene can be converted to parahydroxytoluene. Okay, if you go through the phenol synthesis, so there you will come to know about synthesis of these compounds. Okay, it is relatively easy. And if you take this compound, and then can we introduce this functional group onto benzene ring or not? If you take paracresol CH3 plus tertiary butyl chloride, CH3 Cl, tertiary butyl chloride, and then in the presence of aluminum chloride, they react with each other. If you take 2 moles of alkyl halide, then simultaneously it can attach. But here the problem of chemoselectivity comes because we have methyl group and we also have hydroxy group. When you compare both these, OH is a very strong electron donating group when you compare it with methyl group. So that's the reason why the oncoming tertiary butyl group shall occupy the ortho positions next to hydroxy group. So thereby we are going to get the target compound. So here what are we doing? We are disconnecting 2 groups. Simultaneously, and then we are trying to join them together. So we found some symmetry, we found some useful point in the chemistry, and then we are also thinking in terms of chemoselectivity. So thereby we are able to achieve our synthetic objective. What about this one? Can you suggest me how to do the retrosynthetic analysis for this? This is a simple isobutyl benzene. So where shall we disconnect? Here or here? One
Isofunctional group.
huh?
Isofunctional group, sir.
Here or here? So if you disconnect here, you are going to get benzene C. Okay, either plus or minus here or here. Okay, either way. If you put plus here, you have to put minus here. If you put minus here, you have to put plus here. The second one is regular alkylation reaction. So which one do you suggest me? 1 or 2? Both are possible. Okay, so in this case, if you take one of the examples is like making C bond. Let's say if you put C plus here, CHO plus so you'll get, so I am writing benzene as AR, double bond COOH COO. Then you have to go for reduction, or else you can do one more thing, that is CHO plus, so here if you put minus here, CH2Cl, and here a double bond. So you can make a carbanion over here. So this will attack over here. It is a complicated setup. The entire reactions, they need more number of steps. Whereas here, it is simple, FC reaction is enough. FC reaction is enough. So shall we start with CH3, CH2Cl plus benzene, AlCl3. So shall we do this reaction? If we disconnect like this, we obviously have to start with this type of starting material, especially in case of FC reaction. So can we get our target product by using this strategy of using isobutyl chloride plus benzene, aluminum chloride? Okay, so can we get the product or not? Can anyone of you tell me what is the problem with the FC reaction, Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction? There are so many negative points are there. Polyalkylation, isomerization, side products. Means when you take this as a halide, what kind of carbocation is generated?
Tertiary carbocation.
Yeah, this is the carbocation that is generated first.
Primary, sir.
And that will be isomerized to CH3, CH3, CH3. That is quaternary. And then this will attack the benzene ring. So ultimately what you are going to get is, one problem is this one. You'll get a tertiary butyl benzene, not the isobutyl benzene. Now, can you solve this puzzle? What should be our strategy? So this kind of a problem can be solved by simply using FC acylation reaction. FC acylation reaction. So upon FC acylation reaction, what we are going to get is a ketone. A ketone. Okay, so this ketone can be reduced by using NH2, NH2, KOH. So what is this reaction?
Wolff-Kishner reduction, sir.
Excellent. Okay. Now we are going to get the target product. This is the target product. Okay. So here what we did, we simply changed the chemoselectivity component, and we also have applied functional group interconversion, because here we are converting ketone group to alkyl group. Functional group conversion, interconversion strategy also we are applying. So thereby we are getting the target product. Okay, so this is about some of the examples I am giving you, so that the way how our thought process should be, especially in case of benzene containing compounds, is to be, this is the way how we can understand. Okay, so it is always it always depends upon the kind of information that we have. Let's say if you know more and more about the reactions, if you have idea on more and more about reagents, reaction mechanisms, named reactions, etc., then you can have more feasibility, okay, feasibility of choosing different strategies. Let's say you are in Visakhapatnam for the first time, you know only one route to Beach Road, okay, so you are in Andhra University here, okay, beach is over here. Now you know only the main road, you know only the main road, but somebody who is a local knows so many roads. This is beach. Okay, so by going in any way, you can achieve your target. Okay, it all depends upon how good you are about achieving a particular pathway, particular chemical conversion. So it is nothing but knowing more and more about functional group chemistry. Okay. And here, as I told you earlier in my earlier introductory lecture, synthons and reagents. Synthan is a reaction intermediate. Reagent is actually the reagent what we use to achieve a chemical conversion. So in case of benzene chemistry, so this is the way how we are doing disconnection. This part is what we call it as a reagent. Okay, these are reagents. And what are the synthons? These are the reagents. These are synthons. Okay, synthan is a reaction intermediate, carbocation and carbanion, that is going to be generated after doing the disconnection operation. Okay, so in case of benzene ring, there are some reagents and synthons are there, for achieving a particular reaction, like carbocation mediated reaction. Whenever you wanted to do, regularly used strategy is Friedel-Crafts reaction and alkylation reaction. Some other examples are also there. So whenever we wanted to achieve RCO group to be attached to benzene ring, Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction is what we are going to use. Nitration, because this is another functional group we use for multiple applications, nitro group. Nitration happens really fast. Chlorination, bromination, they simply need appropriate catalyst. Lewis acid catalyst is needed, but these reactions really happen very nicely. For sulfonation, we need sulfuric acid. Fuming sulfuric acid is needed. Diazotization can be done by using appropriate aniline compounds. Okay, so these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reactions which we use in more than 50% of the reactions that we are going to do. Okay, whenever we wanted to do retrosynthetic analysis on a benzene containing compounds, more than 50% of the cases you have to use one or the other reaction belonging to these strategies. Okay, alkylation, acylation, nitration, halogenation, sulfonation, azide preparation. One more example is, which I missed in the beginning, is synthesis of piperonal. Piperonal is a very important flavoring agent that is liberally used in many food material preparation. So in case of piperonal, we have benzene ring is there, methylene dioxide group is there, and then aldehyde group is to be introduced. Aldehyde group, if you wanted to introduce RCOH, if you want to prepare go for FC reaction, you have to add here a halogen, formoyl chloride. This is non-existing. This is non-existing. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to find some other pathway to achieve this type of typical reactions or introduction of functional groups which are not simple, but which can be added directly, So that's the reason why we also need to know more and more about formylation reactions. Okay, so here we have 3 different strategies, are very popular strategies. One is chloromethylation, where we use formaldehyde, hydrochloric acid and zinc chloride. The reaction intermediate is CH2Cl is formed, and that will be converted to aldehyde. Hydrolysis. The second one is aldehyde group can be introduced by using Raymer-Tiemann reaction. This is a very popular reaction, Raymer-Tiemann reaction, but it gives obnoxious smell. The last one is Wilsimier-Hack formulation. Wilsimier-Hack formulation makes use of the POCl3 and dimethyl formaldehyde. Okay, DMF, dimethyl formamide. So these are the 3 very popular formylation reaction strategies. Okay. So in case of aromatic side chains by functional group interconversion, so earlier I have shown you some of the strategies to introduce directly functional group. Okay, so let's say you need these functional groups like amino group, primary alcohol, or alkane, or aldehydes, carboxylic acid, ester, CCl3, CF3, or COOH. Okay, so whenever we wanted to introduce them, so you can get amine group or aniline. Anilines can be synthesized by reducing corresponding nitro groups, and primary alcohols can be obtained from appropriate ketones. The same is the case with the alkanes, also can be obtained by using the same. Okay, so just now we have seen one reduction reaction. Okay, that is the way. So from via oxidation, so aldehydes can be obtained from CH2Cl, carboxylic acid from appropriate alkyl substitution or methyl group, like what we have seen in case of para-aminobenzoic acid. Methyl group is oxidized to carboxylic acid, and COR can be obtained from OCOR. Okay, OCOR can be obtained from ketone by using peroxy acids. Just now we have seen that oxidation reaction. What is that oxidation reaction? Preparing esters from ketones by using perbenzoic acids. Metachloroperbenzoic acid, Baeyer-Williger oxidation. Very good. So via substitution, let's say you wanted CCl3, you simply can take appropriate toluene with CH3 substitution, so that chlorine PCl5 can be used for preparing corresponding CCl3s. CF3 can be done by using corresponding CCl3. Carboxylic acid can be obtained by using cyanide. Okay, why here we are using the term substitution? Because let's say you start from aniline, convert it to the corresponding diazonium salt, then you do the Sandmeyer reaction where the substitution is happening, then you hydrolyze it. Cyanide is hydrolyzed to amide, first amide, CONH2, and on further hydrolysis it will become carboxylic acid. It is really hard to stop at amide position, so that's the reason why we directly mention that hydrolysis of cyanide gives carboxylic acid. So that's the reason why under substitution we are keeping cyanide. Okay, so this is as an example I am giving you the way how we have to think in case of disconnection, especially how can we apply functional group interconversion to facilitate introduction of appropriate functional group onto benzene ring. We cannot introduce amino group, so instead we can introduce a nitro group, then we can reduce it. Okay, so it is the way. So in case of nucleophilic substitution, so this is what I am giving you an example. Now, how can we synthesize this molecule? What is the thing that we have over here? We have a bromine, we have OH, we have methyl group over here. So how can we get this? Can we get it from paracresol? Can we take, because hallucination is really possible, from AlBr3 bromine or HBr and or HBr bromine or acetic acid and bromine, CH3. So if we take this and if we add bromine to this, will we get monobromophenol, cresol? Is it possible? Hello? Hello?
Sir.
Sir.
Is it possible to obtain monosubstituted cresol by using paracresol and bromine?
No, sir.
Why it is not? Earlier, we have seen one example of where we have taken paracresol and then introduced the tertiary butyl groups next to OH group. Okay, so why not here? So phenols are highly reactive. Phenols are highly reactive. So what will happen is bromine easily reacts with phenols to form polybrominated. Bromine will go at ortho positions and para positions, and easily it can prepare a polybromo compound. So that's the reason why this strategy won't be able to provide you the monobromo substituted product. Okay, so we have to reduce the activity of OH group. OH group. So that's the reason why what scientists have done is one of the best strategies keep here aniline. So aniline NH2 is relatively less stronger than phenolic hydroxyl as far as activation of benzene ring is concerned. Okay, so if you really wanted to tune NH2 group activity, what you can do is we can prepare acetonylide, paramethyl acetonylide. Okay, and then we can do bromine. Then we can do the bromination. NHCOCH3 methyl, and then bromine will go next to highly activating functional group. Highly activating functional group. Then what we can do? We can simply hydrolyze so that NH2 Br CH3 will come, and we can do Sandmeyer reaction to replace amine with hydroxy group, methyl and bromine. Are you able to understand me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can also do esterification to phenol group, but esterification to phenol group is not easy. Phenol is acid, and oncoming carbonyl group, otherwise the other one is also an acid. So phenolic esters are not very stable. So that's why it is not at all suggested to go for phenolic ester synthesis before bromination. Okay, whereas amides are relatively stable, neutral, so they will not interfere with the reaction mechanisms. Okay, so this is the way how we can do this. Here, first we take the toluene, we can go to paranitrotoluene, then reduce it so that para-amino toluene will be synthesized, and this we will prepare the amide. Corresponding acetonylide is prepared, and then we go for bromination, followed by that one Sandmeyer reaction, so that ultimately we are getting our compound. Okay, so this is the way how we have to think. And here in the Sandmeyer reaction, we can replace NH2 with hydroxy group, OR group means ether, cyanide, chlorine, bromine, iodine, another AR group, and then H means we can completely remove NH2 to obtain corresponding benzene. Okay, so these are the reagents that we have. If you reflex the corresponding diazonium salt with water, you are going to get the corresponding phenol. If you boil it with pure alcohol, you will get the ether. If you react it with cuprous cyanide or cuprous chloride or cuprous bromide, you will get corresponding cyanide, chloride and bromine respectively. If you treat it with potassium iodide, you will get iodide. If you treat it with the corresponding benzene ring or aryl group, you will get aryl substituted. And if you boil it with phosphoric acid or ethanol, acidic ethanol, you will get corresponding benzene ring. Okay. So this is what, these are all like the knowledge that we gain, and then we apply this one while designing the synthetic strategy. Are you able to follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let's see if you can do the retrosynthetic analysis for this one. So which one shall we disconnect? This one or this one? This is a very simple compound. 1 or 2. Which one we have to disconnect? 1 or 2?
1, sir.
Are you sure?
2, sir. 2, sir.
So why we are disconnecting 2?
Electron withdrawing group.
It is not electron withdrawing. It's a nucleophile. Okay, so how can you introduce cyanide?
Amide.
Using Sandmeyer reaction. Okay, so you can do CH3 N2X plus CuCN. So this can be obtained from corresponding toluene, CH3 NH2. So this is obtained from corresponding nitrotoluene. This can be obtained from corresponding toluene. Okay, so by using appropriate reaction conditions, nitro group can be introduced either to ortho as well as para. Both are possible. Okay, so in synthesis of para-aminobenzoic acid, we used nitration to introduce nitro group to para position. So here it is possible to introduce nitro group to ortho position. Okay, so this is the way how. This is the way how. Now we have to start with toluene, nitration followed by reduction, followed by diazotization, then Sandmeyer reaction to introduce cyanide to the ortho position. Okay. Now, this is another very simple compound. Let's try this one. How can you synthesize this? Para acetyl, and then here we have alkyl group is there. Which one shall we disconnect? This one or this one? Which one? So here we have a guideline for the order of events. Okay, so here what we have to do, the first guidelines that we have to follow for disconnecting substitutions on benzene ring. Examine the relationship between the groups. Okay, looking for groups which direct to the right position, and the thorough way to do this is to disconnect all groups in turn and see if the reverse reaction would give the right orientation. Okay, so literally what we have to see is, let's say you have benzene ring and then two substitutions are there, CO, CH3, CH, CH3 twice. Okay, then let's say if you had introduced this one first, what will happen? You are going to get an acetophenone. You are going to get an acetophenone. Then if you wanted to introduce alkyl group to this, then where the oncoming functional group will go? 1, 2, CH3, which position it will go? If you have acetophenone, C double bond O CH3 group is on benzene ring. What type of group is this? Ortho para directory or meta directory?
Ortho para, sir.
C double bond O CH3. What kind of charge will be there on carbon? Positive charge or negative charge?
Positive charge, sir.
If positively charged species is connected to benzene ring, what kind of nature is this one? Electron withdrawing group or electron donating group?
Electron withdrawing group.
Okay, so that's the reason why if an electron withdrawing group is attached to benzene ring, it is going to deactivate the benzene ring. Further, it is also going to influence the orientation. So it will go to ortho meta position instead of ortho. Preferably, it will go to meta position. So this route is not useful. Whereas, let's say if you had added the alkyl substitution first, CH3, CH3. Then if you are performing Friedel-Crafts acylation type of reaction, where it will go? Because this is actually electron donating group. So ortho para, both positions are highly reactive because it is large functional group, isopropyl group is there. So ortho region will have steric hindrance relatively. So if you are adding 1:1 ratio, the reagents, then it would prefer para position. So thereby the compound can be achieved. It is not only attaching the functional groups back, but also we have to see that they are attached at right positions, So that's the reason why we have to examine the relationship between the groups, how they influence each other. This is the first guideline as far as disconnecting an aromatic group is a benzene compound is concerned. Are you able to understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the guideline 2. These are more like rules that we have to follow. Okay. These rules were evolved by scientists who have done seminal contributions to the field of retrosynthesis, including Professor Issei Kore. Okay. If there is a choice, disconnect first means that is added last. The most electron withdrawing substituent must be disconnected first, so that it will be added at the end. Because in retrosynthetic strategy, you write strategy like this: C will give, D will give E. Okay, so this is the first disconnection, second disconnection, third disconnection, fourth disconnection. But while doing reaction, we get this step at the end. This will be the fifth step, means last step. So most electron withdrawing group has to be added at the end, especially on benzene ring. Because when you have added the electron withdrawing group, that will deactivate benzene ring. Deactivate. It is not only orientation, but activity will also go down. Let's say if you take benzene ring, nitrobenzene, and OH group means phenol. So if benzene ring reacts by 75% yield, phenol reacts by more than 95%. Whereas nitrobenzene will have reactivity close to 40% or even less. So that's the reason why overall yield of the reaction will also get affected. When you have added the electron withdrawing group in the beginning itself, then your overall reaction yield will go down. Sometimes you may not be able to get appropriate quantity at the end, or some of the reactions may not happen. Theoretically, they are possible on paper, but in the reaction, in the laboratory, hardly any reaction is possible. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to be very careful while adding the electron withdrawing groups. So let's see one example here. This is musk ambrate. This is a flowering agent. Now you can see here, we have a tertiary butyl group is there, methoxy group is there, nitro group, 2 nitro groups are there, and a methyl group is there. Okay, so as per this strategy, why we have to disconnect the 2 nitro groups? Because here, what are the groups that have to be removed to obtain easily obtainable compound starting material? So let's say we disconnect the tertiary butyl group, and we have OCH3 here, we have CH3 here, we have NO2 and NO2. Okay, NO2 and NO2 can be introduced easily, so we disconnect these two. Methyl, we tend to keep it. Methoxy, if you attach these two, if you retain these two, because this can be added by FC reaction. What is this compound? What is this compound? OCH3 CH3. So this can be obtained from OH CH3. What is this compound? This is nothing but metacresol. Metacresol is available in large quantities, okay, from the petrochemical industry. So absolutely no problem as far as starting material is concerned. You simply take this, go for esterification by using dimethyl sulfate, and then we can go for the next reaction. So here we have to select two things. One is we have this compound, that is methyl ether of metacresol, OCH3 and CH3 is there. Now we have to do two reactions, FC reaction, nitration. Which one do you prefer? That is the question here. Which one do you prefer first? Let's say if you had tried nitration first. Nitration. We have two functional groups over here. One is OCH3. The second one is CH3. Which is stronger? OCH3 is a very strong electron donating group. So if you try nitration, then you would end up in having nitro groups at a wrong position. There is a possibility that polynitration is also possible. Because the ring is highly activated. So the nitro groups are at the wrong positions. Here we needed actually a tertiary butyl functional group. So that's the reason why we have to first introduce. So where are we right now? We have here OCH3 and here CH3. Now we have to do first FC alkylation. So this is the tertiary butyl carbocation that can be generated from corresponding halide. Tertiary butyl chloride is enough to produce this one. Then it will go to 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 positions are possible. And as you all knew, in case of Friedel-Crafts reaction, polyalkylation is possible. But here the reagent is tertiary butyl. Tertiary butyl has a lot of problems because in tertiary butyl carbocation, the strength of carbocation is less because the positive charge is stabilized by the electron donating capability of methyl group. So that's the reason why the reaction is not vigorous. Second one is this is so huge. So that's the reason why there is a possibility that steric hindrance is also possible. As I told you, the ortho positions over here and here means this carbon as well as this carbon are highly activated. These are the two positions where FC alkylation is possible and it will happen really easily. But here, if you wanted to introduce this carbocation to this position, we have a methyl group on one side and methoxy on another side. Both are heavy functional groups, means both are electron rich in environment. They will create a lot of steric hindrance. So that's the reason why tertiary butyl carbocation kinetically it approaches from the other side. So that's the reason why you will get more yield of the target compound, the compound containing substitution at appropriate position. As I told you, it is not very active carbocation. It will not be able to attack at the other positions because here we are adding the reagent 1:1. Even if they will form in very, very less quantity. Then we can do the nitration. So if we had tried nitration in the beginning itself, one is wrong orientation. Second one is the ring will become deactivated. Okay, so that's the reason why we have to choose, disconnect first the most electron withdrawing substituent. Then it is possible to obtain the compounds in appropriate quantity as well as at appropriate position. Are you able to understand this strategy? Hello? Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the actual synthetic strategy where they had started with metacresol and then they have done the methylation reaction with methyl sulfate, dimethyl sulfate. Then they have done Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction. Then they have gone for nitration. Okay. So this is the way. Now, the guideline number 3. If functional group interconversion is needed during the synthesis, it may well alter the directional effect of the group also. Okay, directional group capability of the directional effect of the group also, and the other substituent may therefore be added either before or after the functional group interconversion. So whenever and wherever you wanted to introduce a functional group via functional group interconversion, means instead of NH2 you can add NO2. Okay, but addition of NO2 for amine, okay, whenever you are doing something like this, you have to ensure that next reaction, whatever reactions that are going to happen in the next, shall occupy the appropriate position, shall go to the appropriate positions in those reactions. Okay. Now, let's see this. Orthopara directory, methyl group, and methyl group can give you upon oxidation carboxylic acid, which is actually meta directory. Our methyl group is orthopara directory, whereas CCl3 or CF3 is meta directory. And a nitro group is meta directory, whereas ammonia is actually orthopara directory. So it is like that. Whenever you wanted to do a functional group interconversion, you also have to see their directional capability. See, this is another strategy where, so what we all needed is actually this one, CF3Cl. Okay, so parachloro trifluoromethyltoluene. Okay, so this is what we need. So for this, how they had tried? So first they wanted to convert. Okay, so CCl3 can be there, but from CCl3 we can get corresponding CF3 by using antimonate pentafluoride. And this chlorination can be done by simply taking appropriate toluene by using chlorine PCl4 reagent. And this chlorination is possible with simple chlorination with the ferric chloride. So here they are starting with ferric chloride reagent. So we needed here a halogen. So is it possible with CF3? Because CF3 is only meta directory. So that's the reason why instead of trifluoromethyl, they used here methyl group so that the oncoming functional group can be added, the chlorine can be added. So they have added the chlorine, then they in a sequence manner methyl is converted to CF3. So thereby appropriate orientation is retained, and also the product is obtained in very good quantity. Okay. Guideline 4. Guideline 4 is there is a trick to solve some difficult problems. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. Sometimes we add orthopara directing groups meta to each other. To add two orthopara directing groups meta to each other, a dummy amino group is added. Okay, using dummy amino group is a very good strategy for placing some functional groups at impossible positions. Placing some functional groups in impossible positions. Like let's say you wanted chloro, hydroxy. Okay, how can you synthesize this? One of the strategy can be, because chlorine is relatively electron withdrawing, somebody can say that you can go for nitration, sorry, HNO3, H2SO4, so that you can say that chlorine nitro is possible. So then you reduce it to corresponding anilines. So here you will get NH2 and NH2. Then you do Sandmeyer reaction. So thereby you can get chlorine OH. Can any one of you tell me whether this reaction is theoretically works or not? Whether this reaction can work theoretically or not? Theoretically. Hello?
Sir. Possible, sir.
Is it possible or not?
Possible, sir.
It is possible. But what is the problem with this? There is a meta-directory functional group. We presume that chlorine is electron withdrawing. So the benzene ring is already deactivated. So the two nitro groups are not going to attach simultaneously. Okay. So one group is attached and then the second group is attached. So the moment nitro group is attached to benzene ring, this will become totally deactive. So the second nitro group may not be able to attach to the benzene ring at all. If at all this happens at a very high and vigorous conditions, very low yield will come. Okay, so that is again another tricky problem. So ultimately you may or may not be able to get the target product in appropriate quantity. So here one simple strategy is to get this one, you take chloroaniline, parachloroaniline. So parachloroaniline. So have you synthesized this one in the B pharmacy? In your B pharmacy, you might have taken aniline and then acetanilide is prepared. Acetanilide, NHCOCH3. And then this will be subjected to bromination. You simply have to add bromine water so that you will get parabromoacetanilide. Parabromoacetanilide. Did you synthesize this compound? Acetanilide to parabromoacetanilide? So here you can take aniline and then prepare parachloroaniline, parachloroacetanilide. Then upon hydrolysis, you will get the corresponding parahalo compound. Okay, so here instead of bromine, we have chlorine. Now you go for nitration. Nitration. Chlorine, NO2, NO2, NH2. Okay. Now you remove this NH2 with the Sandmeyer reaction. Chlorine, NO2, NO2. How can we remove amine group? It will be converted to N2X plus. Then, what is the reagent with which we have to boil?
NaNO2 plus HCl, sir.
No, just now I have shown you. What is the reagent which will give you complete removal of amine group? Acidic ethanol. Acidic ethanol will give you, it will replace this diazonium salt with the H. Okay. So now you have the target compound here. Now what you will do is you simply reduce it to corresponding aniline, and then Sandmeyer reaction will convert these two amine groups to diazonium salt. Diazonium salt will be converted to dihydroxy. Okay, so hydroxy groups will be introduced. Are you able to understand this strategy of removable functional group? Like this. We don't need this functional group in the final product, but we need this functional group to introduce the needed functional groups at appropriate position on the benzene ring. Having hydroxy groups meta to each other is an impossible combination. But we were able to achieve that one by using this strategy. Okay, it is like this. Now, so this is PABA. Okay, this is PABA. And we wanted aniline, amine group over here. So what is this compound? Please work on this. We needed this compound. NH2 need to be here. We have a hydroxy group over here and carboxylic acid over here. Please note down this and then prepare a strategy for synthesis of this compound. Draw the scheme on a paper, take a picture and send me by WhatsApp. Okay? Are you able to understand me?
Yes, sir.
Please note down the structure. It's a simple problem, but you have to use this strategy to obtain this product. So we go to the next one. In guideline number 5, some substituents are very difficult to add. So it is best to start with them already present. Okay. Some of the substituents are really difficult to be introduced, like OCH3, OH. Earlier also you have seen, like we stopped disconnecting here. The reason, it is really difficult to introduce CH3 and OCH3. CH3 means we can say that yes, FC alkylation reaction is possible, but it is really difficult to stop polyalkylation, especially for simple substituents like this. It's really difficult. Okay, so that's the reason why we have chosen something, a natural product, naturally available or large quantity, commercially available chemical with the substituents at appropriate positions. Okay. See, if you take this as an example, amine, nitro group and methoxy, 3 groups are there. Which one can we disconnect? Nitro can be added by nitration. It's an easy reaction and high yielding reaction. Amino group can be added by nitration and reduction. That is also possible. But methoxy is really tough to add. You have to first nitrate, then convert that one to azide, then you introduce, you have to go for this one, Sandmeyer reaction to obtain this functional group. So many steps will be there. Instead, you simply have benzene ring connected to OCH3. That is nothing but anisole. You can start from anisole. Anisole is available naturally. Okay, it is like that. So whenever an aromatic ring is there for which retrosynthetic strategy is to be developed, see that the functional group that is really difficult to add, it is best to start with them already present. Okay. So friends, this is the end of today's presentation. So today what we have seen is the general thinking pattern that we need for disconnection of aromatic compounds, especially benzene containing multiple functional groups. What kind of strategy is needed for obtaining compound with functional groups at appropriate positions? Because benzene undergoes electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions easily.